Okay, this will be an overview of our trim section. So for our trim section, if we look at the shape of the side of our house, we can see there are different colors that correspond to different types of trim, right? So this is basically your key here that'll tell you and help you include, what types of trim you want to include if you're going to have that trim, right? A lot of times you won't have a skirt board or a frieze board or a band board or sometimes even a quarter board. So if you don't have that, you don't have to include it, but if you want to include it, you can. Here's a reference for what those different types of trim are if you need. So first thing we do is select the type of trim we want, right? Then we're going to go down and select the material for what we're going to use for each one of these trim, right? What are we going to use for our fascia, right? What are we going to use for our soffit? And just select this list. And once again, if you want to add material to this list or change it, just click the plus sign. It'll take you to the material list, and this is where you can put in, new trim that you want to use, right? Or trim you want to use for your soffit. So just know that. That's consistent throughout this program. So we're going to go down and put in our corner boards, right? What are we going to use for our corner boards if we have corner boards? And if we're going to include some of these trim and our siding, select the material. So we're going to go ahead and just do it all, but in case, just for an example. But if you don't have these things, you can just keep it at none, right? Like if you're not putting a band board on anywhere, a frieze board, you don't have to select any material. And this is, once again, a reference for what those trim will be. So once we selected the material for all this trim, we're going to go over and choose the side, right? So let's look at this simple example, for example. This is going to be a gable house, and let's do the trim for this side, right? Our gable side. So that's going to be a shape 2. You put in the height and width and our roof pitch, and then we select what trim we want to include, right? So if we want to include our fascia and soffit, right, that's going to include this material right over here. Do we have corner boards? Now let's look, see if we have any corner boards. The answer is yes, we do. Now, this is really important for corner boards. When you look at the side of a house, the corner boards are going to give you 2 corner boards for each side. 1, 2, right? So it's not going to include the corner board on this side, right? Because these are 2 pieces, right, that create the corner. So when you go around to this next side, you're going to put the corner board in, and that will finish off the corner board, right? So the corner boards, when you select this button right here, it's only going to include the corner board on this side and this side, right? So technically, you'll only have half of the material you need for this corner board in total, right? Do we have a skirt board or frieze board or band board? The answer is no, we don't have any of those things, right? But if we were, let's say, doing this house and this gable, you can see a frieze board is going to be this board right here. And you can see that corresponds to, our shape. If we go to shape 2, the green board right there, right? So right there you can see green, frieze board, check that, right? We also have this trim right here, right? That's going to be our band board. Even if you don't know what it's called, you can go see, okay, we have that yellow board right here, click yellow. And the question is, do we have a skirt board? You can't see it in this picture. A skirt board is going to be the board that's going to be at the bottom of your siding, that all your siding dies into. Sometimes you'll have it, sometimes you won't. So if you have it, click that. If not, don't, And you can see if we go over here, it's already told us kind of all the trim that we're going to need for that, right? And how much that's going to cost. Right? And if we could just move down the line, continue on to the next side, right? We'll continue with this side, right? Let's say this side, that's going to be shape 1. So we'll go add another side, shape 1, put in our height and width, and then select what we want to include. Do we want to include a fascia and soffit? Yes. We do want to include corner boards, right? Because we have a corner board here on both sides, but we don't have any other material, so we can move on to our next section, right? But let's say, hypothetically, it's this house again, right? Where, look, we do have a freeze board right here, right? So, once again, our freeze board for shape 1 is going to be this green board. Do we have a board where this green board is? If the answer is yes, we come over here, we see green, click freeze board, and that's going to include a calculation based on these measurements right here, right? And that's it. Oh, once again, your markup for your trim in terms of waste. So however much, this is going to give you the exact amount you need. So if you want to add extra based on, offcuts, mistakes, whatever, include that right here, how much extra you want to order.